What's up, everybody? Alan with Study Sound Audio here. One question we get asked a lot is, how do you program tremolo picking with Axure? Today, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's just start from scratch here. And I'm going to plug in a sustain alt pick and just pick a note, basically 16th note that. Now, a lot of people, their concern is it doesn't sound realistic, or they're trying to get it to sound like a real guitar. So you got to think in the terms of how would you actually play this on a real guitar? Well, when you're tremolo picking, you're obviously alternate picking. So down, up, down, up. So that's why we selected the sustain alt pick key switch, which is right here. You don't want every single note to be the same velocity. When you're tremolo picking, think of it like sort of a rhythm. On the 1, which is the first note, you're going to have the hardest hit. And then every note after that is going to be slightly less forceful. So you're going to want to program it just like that. So we're going to say you're trying to do a tremolo pick like da 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 da. The emphasizing note would be on the 1st and 5th note. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then again, back to the 1. On the 1, every 1, we'll do 85. For the other 3, after the 1, you're going to have them programmed slightly less in velocity. So I want to click on the 2nd and the 4th note. And then I'm going to move that down to maybe, let's say, 60. So every 3rd note, which is 1, 2, 3, we'll have that slightly up. So we'll have that around 70. Okay, now let's change notes. Let's turn an amp on. So you don't want every one of them to be the same. So what you could do to get it more realistic is I would go and program downstroke, upstroke for every hit. I would just do this and copy and paste those. That way you're getting the true down upstroke, because even though it does say alternate pick, sometimes you can get a more defined result by programming it exactly how you would play it, down, up, down, up. Now let's hear what it sounds like with palm muted. So it sounds more realistic now. Now, obviously you can change these up so they're not exactly the same. So I'll change these to maybe something higher, and change these to something lower, maybe a 70. The 55s can be 48. We get rid of that one and we copy paste this one over there. Now you could also play with Axure a little bit and extend that release noise. That way you get a little bit of that sort of drawn out string noise in there. So you can also automate that up. So if you're doing a sustain tremolo picking, I would recommend automating your release knob up, probably to around maybe 50 to 70. Because if you dial it back, it sounds more robotic if you dial it back. You see how it kind of chokes out the note whenever you dial back on the release. So you're going to want to make sure that you have the release set kind of high for the tremolo picking stuff. And that allows it to kind of bloom more, blend in with the other notes. Okay, and now let's try that with the palm mutes. So we'll dial back on the release and show you the difference. Okay, that's without release, and then now cranking the release. I think I like it better with the release cranked up a little bit. Even though it's a palm mute, I think I like it better like that. And depending on you want more roundness and more kind of depth to your palm mutes on that part, you know, you can always just blend in the chug knob a little more. And another thing you can do is to kind of give it more of that realism, I would just put a slide noise in between the note changes right here. And that gives you more of like the guitar player is actually playing it, is moving over each note, if that's what you're going for. Now, if it's more of like a hammer-on type of thing, you know, you could probably do something more like this, get rid of those. And I would do a tap, actually. So from one note to the other, it would be more like this. Every time the MIDI changes notes, it's going to hit a tap for that first note and then go right back to downstroke, upstroke. And it almost just kind of like emphasizes that first note. And that's really the key to all this, is variation. You don't want to copy and paste every single move that you make, because you'll notice that I changed the numbers up here in the velocity layers for each section of notes. So these two are the same numbers, but they're spaced out a bar lengths apart. And then these two numbers right here and right here, those are the same numbers, but they're spaced out a bar length apart to kind of break it up and separate a little bit. We're not just using the alternate pick key switch. There's nothing wrong with the alt pick key switch, but sometimes I really want to go in there microscopically and say, this is exactly how I'm playing it, and I want it to be like that. And a lot of times I'll opt in for that because I like things to be programmed exactly like downstroke, upstroke, kind of like how I play it. So messing around with your tap and your slide key switches, depending on if you're going up or down on a note. Here we have this. Sounds pretty good now. All right, guys, and that's it. That's how you program tremolo guitars with Axure. If there's anything else you guys want to know or learn, leave us a comment below. And if you guys want to join a community of musicians that program virtual instruments and talk about Axure and things like that, we have a Discord community. I'll leave a link in the description for you below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.